This segment of the Bass Kayak and Beers podcast is supported in part by Douglas Outdoors, serious rods for serious anglers. Go to douglasoutdoors.com and check out their new lineup of Era rods that retail under $100. Norsk Lithium, the lithium battery that you need is just a click away. Go to norsklithium.com and check out some of the lightest lithium batteries in the market with the best warranty in the business. Mariner Sales. Located in the heart of the DFW Metroplex, Mariner Sales has the largest inventory of kayak and kayak accessories in North Texas. You can also shop online at marinersales.com. All right, everybody, welcome once again to the Real Life on the Bass Kayak and Beers podcast. I can take my glasses off. I don't need them. Again, welcome to the show. Last week, I hope you all enjoy the holiday weekend. Obviously, we didn't have a show last week, being that it was the Thanksgiving and all that. Most of you were enjoying time with your family and watching football. So this week, we're back, and we're going to have a great episode. I got Kyle and Crystal Borkes. I forgot to ask him how to pronounce the last name, but I think it's Borkes. They are a couple from the Pacific Northwest, from Canada. And we're going to be talking about their brand of fishing. They like to chase for like saltwater, lingcod, salmon. And I thought it was interesting. I've been watching their social media for a while, and I really enjoy what they're doing. I really like that dynamic of a couple fishing together. I like that it's something very different from what I fish for. So I'm always interested to expand my knowledge of fishing and share fishing experience. I know the podcast is called my social media is Bass, Kayak, and Beers, but it really is about kayak fishing and all that. So we're going to have a great episode. And we're going to be talking about how they got started into this, the dynamics of being social media, working full time, but at the same time trying to make something social media out of it. And how does that affect your fishing experience? Like if you want to fish because you love fishing, but then you have social media and you feel like there's some responsibilities there towards the companies that you represent, it can get tiresome. And I know for a lot of content creators, there's always that burnout moment where you're like just tired of doing content and not enjoying fishing. So it's going to be a great episode. A huge shout out to some of the people that are already connected on the live stream. JR Maccabee, thank you so much. He says, good evening, everyone. Bearded That Fishing Jay says, what's up, fam? And obviously, Kyle and Crystal. Also, we got Charlie Sanders Fishing. Charlie, I need to bring you on the podcast, man. I've heard a great story about, kind of happy ending story, something that happened to your kayak. But then the community came together and helped you. You had a kind of like a miserable start to your tournament that you were fishing. But then you saw the love of the community. So I really want to bring you on the podcast back. Probably next year, because we're almost closing down for the season. But I really want to hear that story for you. And congratulations on all your success this year, Charlie. And so anyways, before we start, I wanted to send well wishes to AJ McWhorter. He just announced on his social media that he's no longer part of the Hobie kayak fishing brand. As you know, Hobie got bought by Bass Pro Shops, and I think it's White River. I forgot the name of it. The ones that manufacture the kayaks. So AJ is no longer associated, from what I read on his social media on Facebook post. I guess it was like a nightmarish, he described it, ending to his career in Hobie. So wish him the best. I know whatever company AJ ends up working with will be lucky to have him. AJ just did a magnificent. Oh my God, I can speak English now. Running, working with Hobie and being a tournament director. And it's sad to see that it wasn't like a fairy tale ending for him with his career with Hobie. But I really um, thought about, reflected on the message that he put, apologizing for maybe being a little bit more vocal about some of the things that thought that Hobie needed to do to better represent the brand and take care of his pro staffs, clients, and dealers. And I thought that was big of him for him to apologize about that. And it seemed like he was kind of embarrassed of what Hobie had become, and embarrassed, I guess, weighed on him that he was embarrassed that he had to represent that company instead of for the company, even though the values weren't what he wanted. So, wish him AJ the best. And we'll see what's in for Hobie. I love the Hobie brand. I don't believe in tribalism. I don't believe because I'm a Hobie guy, I'm gonna hate the native guys or girls or the bona fides or the old town. We're all a family. Um, I don't even have emotional ties to any brand. Uh, Emotional ties to community, to you guys that support the channel. So whatever kayak you're using, I hope you enjoy it. But I also feel like we were having this conversation at a group chat, whether we cared or not what happens to Hobie. And my thought is, well, Hobie was the first one to bring a pedal drive. They've always been at the forefront of innovations in kayak fishing. So I would hate to see a brand like that being lost, liquidize, or just disappear. I hope Hobie can go back now with Bass Pro Shop as being the what it used to be. A brand that it was beloved and respected and recognized for its innovation more than the problems that lately they've been having with the drives and the hull. So we'll see what happens with Bass Pro Shop and Hobie. Anyways, let's bring in our guest for today. Enough about that, and welcome in Kyle and Crystal. Did I mispronounce your last name?
You're good.
You're good.
Wait, because I was like, I need to remember to ask him how they pronounce their last name. So, anyways, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. It's an honor to have you guys here. Like I've said, I truly enjoy your social media, your brand of social media, and that dynamic that you guys have as a husband and wife fishing together. So let's start with that. How you guys ended up doing kayak fishing? How do you guys started fishing, kayak fishing, and then the whole social media uh, rabbit hole?
Well, we appreciate you having us on, and I know it was a little bit of time, but I'm glad that we finally were able to make it on your show.
Yeah.
I guess our journey into fishing, like I've always fished. I've always grown up fishing saltwater and freshwater too, but most primarily saltwater. When we had first started dating, we changed to freshwater. We were doing the bank fishing thing, fishing for bass and trout and everything from the banks and the shores around Vancouver Island. Eventually, we finally decided that we wanted to buy a boat to get out there and chase some salmon, lingcod, halibut, all the good species that we have here on Vancouver Island. And I was laying up on the couch like I usually am at like 2 a.m, just on YouTube, and I stumbled across a video of a guy landing a marlin from a kayak. That happened to be Adam Fisk, and Robert Field has a video on his channel.
Yeah.
And I think just the way that the video was shot, edited, and produced, and just, of course, seeing that monster of a fish, I think it was 500 pounds. I mean, I had goosebumps, and I couldn't wait for Crystal to wake up in the morning and show her, like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. So I had never saltwater fished before. And I came out in the morning. He's like, we're doing this. I got to show you this video. And I'm like, what? What is this? This looks crazy. And yeah, he was set on getting 2 kayaks, one for me and one for him. And I was like, all right, I'm up for an adventure. And so he purchased the kayaks. And my first time out, I'm not going to lie, I was pretty nervous, never having fished. I think I had fished one time saltwater on a boat. And I was seasick the whole time. So there wasn't much fishing happening. So this was my first real experience fishing from a kayak, and I was pretty nervous. And then once I had hooked into my first salmon and the adrenaline, that was it for me. I was hooked. and just love it. Absolutely love it.
Kyle, you mentioned you grew up fishing. So for you, Crystal, was fishing ever a part of your life before you met Kyle? Or was this something like, well, let's do the couple thing, try to bond over a
Yeah,
hobby that
not
you've never tried?
really. I've gone a few times as a kid, but it wasn't like a big part of my life. I've always loved being outside. I love nature and being outdoors. So when Kyle and I were first dating before we had kids, and he was like, "Do you want to go fishing at a lake?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So yeah, I did not grow up having much fishing experience at all.
Do you how have you enjoyed it? Do you think you would have still enjoyed it? Like let's say you've discovered this beef and Kyle wasn't in the picture, right?
Mhm.
Would you think you've enjoyed as much, or just the fact that you enjoyed with Kyle, or would you think you would enjoyed it at all, or even tried it if you weren't married to Kyle and Kyle hadn't come up with this idea?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like I've always been an outdoors person. I like a good challenge, and I just love being out in nature. So I do think I would have enjoyed it, but um, I think that having that passion shared with my partner, who I love, I think makes it extra enjoyable. And it's kind of, we have 4 kids, like we've got a busy life. Um, and so it's prioritizing something that both of us can share in together that's just for us. And so I do think that having that teammanship between us as husband and wife makes the fishing experience more enjoyable than if I was just doing it by myself, for sure.
What does the kids think of mom and dad having the YouTube channel and doing the kind of like what traditionally kids would be doing?
They tell everybody. They're they're like, my mom and dad have a fishing channel, and they're always telling their friends. That's pretty cute. We try to involve them too as much as we can. Our oldest, she actually took my boat out with her dad in the summer, and she was out in some decent swells with dad off the coast, and she killed it. She was using a downrigger. She was not scared at all. She was right in there. And yeah, we try to share it with our kids. They always help us gut the fish. They help us ID fish, all that kind of stuff. So
And this is a actually a question that I hadn't planned on asking, so I apologize. I'm coming kind of left field with this question that we didn't talk about, but it just occurred to me. I know, like my sister-in-law is very protective of her daughter and exposes her to social media. Not just her using social media, but her being on social media, especially when she was really young. She was like, "Don't post any pictures of my daughters on your social media account." And I was like, I didn't have a kid. I don't have kids. So I was like, okay, well, I I mean, I guess I don't see what the big deal is. But again, I don't have kids. I've kind of now understand a little bit more why she felt that way. Now my niece is, she's all grown up, so it's a little bit different now. But for you guys, like on your social media, how do you try to control any exposure of maybe having your kids on social media with your brand?
I think it's we've definitely toned it down a little bit from the start. I think like we'd be posting pictures of us holding fish and our kids holding fish and stuff like that. But as our audience grew, you do have to be a lot more careful about
No.
that kind of thing. But I mean, our oldest is, I filmed the whole day that we were out together. I still haven't posted it. I mean, it was just kind of for us to get out there and do. And she's 12 going on 20. So
yeah.
I think it's inevitable that it's going to happen. She's going to have some sort of social media. That's the way of our world nowadays. But if we can control it as much as we can now, and
Delay it as long as we can.
yeah. I mean, if it's just a couple pictures, because it's also a lot of our family and our friends that follow us too. So it's more so for them. I think like our kids don't really have a huge role in our fishing, but we are looking for another kayak for our oldest. So
Yeah.
who knows if she wants to have her own fishing thing or come out with dad and be on camera. Like, I mean, I don't really have an issue with it. I think I'd be a hypocrite if I did.
And
But
that's
we'll
the
see.
reason why I feel comfortable asking is I notice your social media is not centered around exposing your kids and growing your brand. In other spaces, I see families, and I don't want to be judgmental, but it seems like they're really using their kids to, grow their social media. And I'm not one to judge. Everybody's different. But one thing that I respect about your social media account is like this is about more than anything you guys fishing, and most of your videos are going to be you guys either explaining your rigs or explaining what you're doing or explaining the bait or showing off a catch and the hook set and all that. I feel it's more organic, and more enjoyable. So props to you guys, and that's why I kind of feel comfortable asking that question, because it seems like you are the type of parents that are very responsible when it comes to that, and the exposures that you give your kids on your own social media platform.
Yeah, I don't think that we'd ever get to a point where we have our kids saying lines and stuff like that and have scripts written out for them. But
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to come and hold up a fish, it works for us.
Yeah, there's a difference trying to use your kid as a prop to actually sharing a organic true adventure that you guys are experiencing, and I think
Yeah.
that's the difference.
Yeah, if we even if you met our kids too, if we tried to tell them what to say, it wouldn't go well.
No.
I think with any kid goes
It'd
well.
be chaos.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. I'm not betting on them.
So what do you guys fish for now? You both have you well, let me redact that question. You guys are from Vancouver Island, which is, by the way, I've never been, but it's one of my bucket list places because it is from what I've seen on videos and YouTube and all that, it's a beautiful place. Everything in the Pacific Northwest, it just seems that it's very outdoorsy, very beautiful, very different from most of the country. The fishing, I remember in Puerto Rico when I started scuba diving, I kind of same thing. The fishing, I wanted to branch out and not just fish tropical waters. And one of the things that I wanted to do was actually go to Vancouver Island and go scuba diving there for wolf eel, and just see the difference in coral life in cold water in the Pacific than in warm water in the Atlantic. So have you guys lived all your life in Vancouver Island?
Crystal has. I grew up on the prairies in Canada. I was from Alberta, but I have family here, so I was back every summer fishing and all that good stuff as I was growing up. But yeah, for the last I don't even know how many years we've been here.
I think we've been here, about 19, 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Close to that. Yeah.
Mhm.
And what does Vancouver Island have to offer as far as saltwater kayak fishing?
It's an incredible fishery that's close to shore and very accessible is the best way to describe it. Like we have lingcod, rockfish, halibut, salmon, and the majority of our fishing is inside of 300 yards from shore.
Not always.
Sometimes we're
sometimes.
offshore, you got to go where the fish are, but for the
Yeah.
most part, it's where the structure is close to shore, and the beaches are plentiful and accessible, and it's just a kayak angling paradise.
Yeah.
Is the only way to describe it. Yeah, it's cold, but it's definitely a paradise.
Yeah. We're
Do
very
you-
blessed.
Do you get to fish all year long? Like, does winter allow you to fish, or it's too much certain months of the year?
Winter can be nasty. I mean, you're looking at a lot of rain here. We don't usually get the snow at higher elevations. We do,
Yeah.
but down on the water, like you're not dealing with snow or anything, but you're dealing with water temperatures that'll kill you in a couple minutes.
A lot more wind usually.
Yeah, and also the species aren't open in the winter. Like we're allowed to fish for salmon right now, but the lingcod and the rockfish and stuff are all closed in our area, so they shut down and open up again in May. But yeah, there's definitely fish to catch out there all year round. It's just if you want to bundle up and go get them.
Yeah.
I think that's something surprising that you touched on as far as that area of the country. I have a friend of mine, an ex-coworker. She lives, shout out to Leanne Cooper. I know she watches on Facebook sometimes. Her and her husband moved from Dallas to I think Portland or Seattle. One of those places. Anyways, in the Pacific Northwest. region. And they were telling me, like, surprised to me, that she was telling me, no, it snows more in Texas than it snows in that area of the country, where it's a lot higher up north when we're talking about latitudes here. And so what is it about the weather over there? I've heard it's like really rainy, but not a lot of snow, and it's not as cold as a winter in Texas, from what I understand. Why is it that the weather over there is not as cold as people might think it is, or have the impression that it is?
I think it's just the coastal winds and the coastal weather. I mean, we do get snow maybe once a year, but it only sticks around for a day or two, and then it'll start raining and it'll all be gone. But when we do get it, it really comes down. We can get a foot overnight, no problem. That wet, slushy, heavy snow. And being so close to the ocean, I think too plays a factor. But yeah, we
live generally pretty mild climate. Yeah.
Yeah, we're a few degrees above freezing all winter. Like, it doesn't really get.
I think it was like 9 degrees here today.
Oh, okay.
Celsius.
Yeah, Celsius.
No,
Sorry, yeah.
no,
Oh, okay. I
Fahrenheit.
was gonna say, like, yeah, that's a big. That I forget. You guys are in Canada, so you guys use
Yeah.
Celsius, not
Yeah.
Fahrenheit. I have no idea what that is in Fahrenheit, but I'm assuming it's somewhere in the 40s.
Sure. I don't know either. But we'll go with that.
Somebody in the chat the comment section can correct me on that. Or again, they can Google it. So, what you mentioned what prompted you, what inspired you to go fishing? Now, obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys don't have marlins or that type of like big game fishing up in Canada. Have you ever thought about taking a trip to somewhere warmer and fish for like big game fish?
It'll happen in the next couple of years.
Oh yeah.
We're going to be going down to Panama and Florida. We're going to make our rounds. I need a marlin.
I want a rooster.
Oh, so you're going
wants
to, when you say Panama, Florida, you're talking about going to Panama, Florida, or Panama, and then also going to Florida. Okay.
Yeah, we'll probably go down to Los Busos, or even the Baja in Mexico, or somewhere south where we can get into some monster fish.
Yeah, and that video that you referenced, for anybody that hasn't watched it, I don't know what Stephen Fields' YouTube channel. I think it's just Stephen Fields Fishing. I can't remember. But that video, I remember watching the video, having that same thought. It's like, I got to show this to my wife tomorrow morning because it is amazing. And I've referenced this video a lot on my podcast. But for those that haven't watched it or listened the times that I referenced to it, this Adam Fisk is just, I think he gets pulled all the way like 10 miles off the coast. They had to go get him on a boat.
Yeah.
And it's the video of that marlin just jumping up in the air like 20 yards from him on a kayak. It's just awe-inspiring. It's like, my God, that is gotta be the biggest rush in kayak fishing ever. Like that video put Los Busos and Stephen Fields on the map.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many views that reels of those videos have gotten, but man, oh man, that is one epic catch. And it was amazing. I recommend anybody go check out the video. It is, if you don't get your blood flowing watching the video, then you don't love kayak fishing as much as you should.
Just the way that he edited it from the initial hook set, and then the thing started screaming line, and it's just building this whole time until this absolute monster that's longer than the kayak comes out of the water. And it's just, I still get goosebumps every single time I watch that video.
It is. It's crazy. And that, I think that's on everybody. Every kayak fisherman has that dream. I don't care what you fish for, whether it's bass or lingcod. But you guys also have like a big game fish. I went last year. It wasn't kayak fishing, but it was fishing out of the boat. But I went fishing for halibut. And it was in Alaska. So after you get your catch and you bring it to shore, and they'll process it, they'll freeze it, put it in a box, tell them how many pounds, your airline allows you to, and, check it in as a bag. And when I got home, it was still frozen. I had never tasted halibut. By the way, I've mentioned this. I also went river fishing on the Kenai River, or was it the Russian River? I know where they merge. I cannot eat store-bought salmon after catching my own. It's just, I don't think people understand the difference between like literally a wild-caught salmon than a store-bought one. I don't care how much they promote it as wild-caught. It's not. It's not. It's just not the same thing. The quality of the meat is incredible. But going back to my original point, I saw a guy and I posted out on my Instagram reels, one of the most popular Instagram reels that I had. This young kid caught a 200-pound halibut. Like, I can't imagine catching like it took him a minute. Like the most surprising experience that I've had fishing is watching the captain grab a 45 and shoot that thing 4 times before bringing it on board. And I had to ask him, why are you shooting the fish? He's like, that 200-pound halibut, if I don't bring it up dead, it's going to start flopping and bouncing all over the floor. He says, and it will break your legs. Like if you get caught, you might just lose a leg. Like it is a massive fish with massive strength that if like you have to bring it up dead, you're risking life and limb if you don't. So I was like, I've never seen somebody shoot a fish before bringing it on board. It's funny, the comment section goes crazy. It's like, why are they shooting it? Like if you've never done it, you don't understand it. I didn't understand it until I got to explain. But anyways, I've been talking too much. Tell me about your biggest catch, and have you ever encountered, not a 500-pound marlin, but what's your biggest catch, and how hard is it to fish out of a kayak with it?
Well, I'm still waiting for the day that I can pull a halibut in on the kayak. I've gone out a few times for halibut, haven't been fortunate enough to catch them. I caught them lots from boats, and yeah, they can do some damage if you pull them in. Those like 500, 400-pound halibut, for us, we're not allowed to keep those in our area. I know up in Alaska, the regulations are different, which I'm jealous of. But yeah, we're not allowed to keep those, so we would just be flipping the hook right beside the boat. Actually, there is another video of Adam Fisk, and he pulls it's got to be 200-pound halibut into his lap on a kayak up in Alaska. Oh and the thing's just flapping away. You guys should check it out if you get a chance. What's your biggest salmon? I don't know.
This 20? Past summer, it was about 22 and a half, 23 pounds. 30. Well, you guys, see, our measurements are all different, but 36 inches long. So it was a pretty good sized fish.
What type of salmon is it?
It
was a Chinook,
or king
salmon. Chinook, yeah. It was good. It was a fun fight. Actually, I thought I had hit bottom with my downrigger ball just because like the big woof one. I was like, oh no, and then I'm like sitting there trying to get my downrigger up, thinking I had hit bottom, and then I see this massive fish like jump, 20 feet behind my boat, and I'm like, oh, that's my fish! Oh my gosh, totally clueless. And so I started pedaling forward and bringing it in, and it was a good fight. It fought more at the boat. Like I think it took it a little bit of time to realize it was hooked, and then when I got it to the boat, trying to net it was a bit of a challenge. One thing we struggle with is our downriggers are manual, so often what happens is if we don't bring it up, the fish will kind of go under and wrap itself around the downrigger line, which can be not very good. I've lost some nice fish that way. But this time I was able to bring my downrigger up, reel my rod, downrigger, rod, and get it in nicely. So it worked out well.
One of the things. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. She always gets the bigger salmon.
He hasn't beat me yet. I've got the biggest salmon.
Yeah, it'll never.
Does that emasculate? Not emasculate you. The opposite of that.
No, it does.
But you saw the biggest lingcod, so yeah.
Do you trash talk him, Crystal? Do you like let him know who's the better fisherman?
No, I give him lots of empathy, and that makes him even more mad.
That's even worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll get it next time, champ. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got this 36-inch thing. I got a little 19-inch one.
Yeah. It's fun though. Like there's lots of days where he's catching fish nonstop, and I'm getting nothing, and I'm getting like ticked off, and I'm like, "What is happening?" And he's laughing at me, and vice versa. It's pretty fun out there.
How much when you talk about social media, you've obviously at what point did you? I think you already touched on it, but I want to go back to this. At what point did you decided let's do a social media thing, and what were your expectation when you started? Not now, but when you started doing the social media.
I think as soon as we hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, and it happened fairly quickly,
I imagine, yeah.
and then another 1,000 or maybe 2,000 followers on Instagram, we thought maybe there is something here. People are seeming to relate to the content that we're putting out. It's enjoyable to watch, I think, because it's not just, even on our Instagram, it's not, hey, buy this product. It's not, this is what we're representing, buy this. Like, there's a lot of comedy in it. There's a lot of different, it's just like a regular husband and wife out there being idiots. Basically is what we're doing.
Honestly, I think often I forget that there is a camera even rolling. So we're just being our authentic selves, having a good time. And then, when we go out, sometimes we're out there for 10 hours and then watching the footage back, we're like, oh my gosh, did I actually say that? Oh my gosh, did I actually do that? Because we're just being ourselves. So it's not staged. It's just us out there having a good time kayak fishing. And yeah, we really enjoy doing it.
Who does the editing? Like,
that's me.
This guy.
She does the proofing to make sure that I don't put anything in there, because I don't really care. I'll put whatever in there. She always needs to make sure that, is my hair okay? And how does my makeup look in this picture? Yeah. And also she doesn't enjoy, like, if I'm swearing or chewing or whatever. She always makes sure to take that out.
I'm the editor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good that you have, like, your producer, editor, and all that. That's pretty cool. What so when as you've grown in social media, has there been a point where you feel like burnt out?
100%. I think it happened shortly after we were monetized on YouTube, and maybe at 5,000 followers on Instagram. It just got to a point where we were pushing so hard to get the content out, and
we also had a lot of sponsorships that we were trying to stay loyal to.
Yeah. And that type of content didn't really, like, I was doing it like I felt like I had to.
Yeah.
And it even got to a point where, like, I don't want to fish, but I have to. I have to go out there and I have to catch a fish with this particular lure and stuff. It just, the fun got taken out of it. And so we ended up leaving a bunch of companies and just starting from scratch. We work with a handful of companies now that we're extremely loyal to, and we toned it down from the buy this, buy that, like affiliate marketing kind of thing, to just, here's us catching a fish, having a great time. And if you read the description or down at the very bottom, it's, this is what we're using. This is who we're working with.
It's
so just trying to make it more authentic.
Yeah. And I think that's the key. We were talking about it before we started recording, but there's no, like, blueprint, especially, social media monetizing. I mean, it's been there for maybe more than a decade, but it is really popularized to, like, kind of like the common people, like people realizing, I don't have to be a TV personality to actually create a brand or an athlete. It can just be Joe Schmo, and you can start a YouTube channel, whether it's fishing or whatever, and actually, create content and find a niche and enough that where you can get views and get people to sponsor you or get money from your views. There's really no blueprint to it, and I think it's kind of like the Wild West. And I think not just like companies are starting to learn how to really utilize social media, influencers, and sponsorship, and also individuals finally kind of figuring out what works and what doesn't. There's really no, like I said, there's no blueprint on it. Everybody's just kind of trial and error, and you see a lot of content creators just burning out because a lot of times, like, I personally didn't think I would monetize. I was just doing it to show, So a lot of times it was just recording content to see why I missed on that fish, why that fish came off, what am I casting right, all those stuff. And I started posting social media, and then opportunities started coming up. And it comes to a point where you say, like, what are you doing this for? Like, you started off because you enjoyed it, and now that agenda has changed. And I think you see a lot of content creators just crash and burn on that. And it's ironic because I've had friends that all of a sudden their channel goes viral because of a few good reels that they kind of stringed up together, and they went viral, and all of a sudden they go from 5,000 to like 20,000. And at that point, it just changes everything for them. Something just like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. And it's interesting because you started doing it because you love fishing, not because of the likes. So at some point, it went from chasing bass or fish to chasing likes and algorithm. And it's such a slippery slope when you go down that way. One thing that you mentioned, and we were talking about the pre-recording, is the showing off a product. Like, you have a responsibility to your sponsors that either pay you or give you free products that helps you expand your fishing. But at the same time, I'll give you an example. Like, I'm very picky of who I choose as a partner, and one of my all-time favorite companies that I've worked with is, and I promise you, I'm not trying to plug them in, but I love working with Norsk Lithium just because I love their batteries. But every time they ask you, like, can you do a video of this? Can you share it? I do it because I like it, and I'm happy to do it because I believe in the company and the products. But I know once that video hits my Instagram, I'm going to lose like 5 or 10 followers, maybe sometimes 20 followers, because people don't like it. When people look at your social media, when they first see a reel and they're like, oh, I'm going to watch this channel, I'm going to enjoy this. And all of a sudden you post a video of you promoting a product, it's like they're turned off. I'm like, I don't care. And only the kind of like the loyal followers that know that your social media is not just about that. In fact, it's not like even 10% of that, but you do have to put something out there to kind of represent the companies that are supporting you. It's always kind of tricky. And I have friends that seems like out of 10 reels, 7 is promoting a product and 3 of is actually them fishing. It's like, it's hard to grow that way. People are just not going to associate it with something they want to watch.
Yeah, I think for us, we just don't want people to see a reel pop up or a video pop up from Casey Kayak Fishing and think, what are Kyle and Crystal trying to sell us now?
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing. I mean, I love storytelling. So even in our YouTube videos, like, you got your intro, the middle, like it's building towards the end. We want to tell stories and inspire other couples to take up an activity together, whatever the activity may be. It doesn't necessarily have to be kayak fishing, but I do think if you have a hobby together, it's crucial for your marriage. I think it's been great for us, and I think it's easy to get lost in, like, because the market's so saturated right now with everybody's a pro staff, everybody's a influencer for fishing in some way, shape, or form, and the market does get saturated. And social media isn't what it used to be. I think ever since COVID, I think when everybody was at home, it really took off after that. And I think we're trying to get it back to the basics of what it used to be. And also putting out content that we enjoy. Like, if I don't care if I get 100 views, if I think it's funny, I'm putting it out
there. We want to feel good about it too.
You're not chasing the algorithms. It's like, I feel that way, and that's why I think, like, well, it's never gonna go viral. It's never gonna go the way that and as far as growth, because I'm just gonna put what I like, and if not everybody's gonna like it, that's fine. You have to be comfortable and happy in your own skin and in what you're putting out there, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Because if you're playing a character the whole time, eventually the burnout will happen.
Yeah.
It's because it's not authentic. It's not you every single day. Whereas, like, it's us out there every single day bickering back and forth, and like it's real, it happens.
Yeah.
And I think there's, going back to what I said in the intro and reflecting back on AJ McWhorter's post where he's just like, he was saying embarrassed of the company that he represented. It wasn't like that when it started. It's like, man, when you feel embarrassed, it's like it seems like you losing a little. Like I'm not saying he was selling out. I'm not putting words in his mouth. This is my interpretation. So just to be clear, I don't want anybody thinking that I'm putting words on AJ McWhorter's mouth or thoughts into what he posted on his social media. But it seemed like, when he said he was embarrassed of how the company behaved with his dealers, his pro staff, its clients, and he kind of had to bite his tongue. It's like, what's worst part about it is once the company got bought, he probably, I'm assuming, going by what he said, that it was a nightmarish end to his career in Hobie. It's like I kind of like sold myself to be a company man and try to ride this out all for nothing, because at the end of the day, big companies, they're going to do what's in best interest for their pockets. They're not going to care about how you felt about it. Not to throw shade at either Hobie in its current form or its former form, where it used to be with the company that it was bought with. But it goes back to, it's like, what are you doing? Like, are you happy with yourself? Are you happy with what you're doing? Do you feel that this is a good representation of who you are as a person? And I think when you apply that to social media, it's very important to avoid burning out. Just be happy what you're putting out there, whether it's some people love it, whether it gets 100 likes or 100,000 likes.
Yeah, you have to like it first.
Yeah.
And I think now we're at a point now where we've taken about a month off from social media. We had a kind of a disappointing summer season. We had some challenging conditions to deal with every single time we went out fishing, it seemed. But I mean, we're in a great place now with starting for our next season. I mean, we're representing Gibbs Fishing, which has been phenomenal for us. I mean, they just kind of let us do our thing. They don't tell us what to do, when to do it. They just have the trust that they're going to get their money's worth when it comes to us.
Well, I think our goal has never been to make money. Like, our goal has always been to spread awareness around the sport of kayak fishing, because it is fairly new here. And just, like you said, inspire other couples, inspire other women and men to try a new thing and try a new sport. Or, when we do our gear reviews, hopefully that's actually supporting other kayak anglers that, aren't sure how they want to outfit their boat or where they're even going to start. We just want to help people and inspire. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if we make money, it's just a bonus. It's like, okay, awesome. But it's not the main concern. So,
and I think it's more gratifying, that when and if each one of us makes money, it's under our own terms. It's us being ourselves. Like that I think brings more value. Is like people enjoy it because I was being myself. Like, people enjoy who I am. People enjoy what I'm putting out there versus I have to put this video because I'm expected to put this video, even though it's not what I want to do. And even it goes back to like fishing. Sometimes it's like, well, I want to, fish for this, but I have to make a product placement. So I need to fish for that, which is not what I wanted to do. Tournament fishing, that's another level. Maybe you want to go fun fishing, but you can't because you have to practice for this tournament. And that takes away from your enjoyment. So everything has to be, it always has to be something that you enjoy. Otherwise, I guess, like you mentioned, like you get burnt out. So piggybacking on that, what advice would you have to a content creator that is doing this because they love it, but now realize that maybe they can monetize on it?
I would definitely say keep your circle small when it comes to the companies that you work with. I mean, there's companies that'll send you products that don't know a thing about you. They don't care, but they know that it's going to get 1,000 views and it's worth it to them. I mean, you have to believe in the products that you're using. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to post about it other than just a picture. hereby this, and you will lose followers, like you were saying you have, and we've lost followers too, just because of certain posts that we've done that didn't align with the rest of the content. But I think it has to come organically, and it has to come at your own pace. Like, you can't keep up. Like, for us, we have 4 kids. I would love to fish more. I work shift work. I can't compare myself to somebody else who has no kids all the time in the world to go fish. It has to happen at your own pace. Like, I would keep your expectations reasonable is the biggest thing that
we've really had to learn that.
Yeah. Like, if you can't get a video out every single day, then that's fine. I mean, it is for us. If I can get 2 videos done a month, great. If I can get 1 done a month, great. It's just life. Real life comes first.
I remember a video that one of my good friends, Paddler's Playbook, he did a video with his wife where his wife is a great fisherman too, kind of like the same dynamic that you guys have. And they talked about, I thought it was one of the best, not videos, I keep saying videos, one of the best podcast episodes that they did. And one of the things the whole podcast was them talking about the balance they find in their marriage and parenthood to go fishing, create content and stuff like that. For you guys, how does that has evolved from where you started to where you are now? You have, you have your jobs, you have parenting, which is more complicated than any job out there, raising kids, especially 4 kids. How do you balance that out, and how do you delegate each other? It's like, I'm going to do this, you can do that, and kind of work around a schedule where you can actually enjoy fishing, but also create content.
Yeah, if you notice from some of our videos, there's quite a few videos where it's just Kyle fishing and I'm not there. And so our kiddos are still pretty young. Our youngest, we have twins that are 7. And so they're still pretty little. Our oldest isn't quite there yet for babysitting. I wouldn't want to put that on her. So, there's lots of times where just childcare doesn't line up, or it doesn't line up with, we have childcare, but then it's too windy. And Kyle is comfortable to go out solo fishing. I'm not. I always want to have someone with me out in the open ocean. And so there's a lot of times where Kyle's the one going out fishing and I'm home with the kids, but I'm not upset. I'm not jealous about it. I'm like, hey, awesome. Go out there, babe, slay the fish, get some, some good shots. And we just kind of work as a team. And like Kyle said, our jobs and mainly our family life has to come first. And then whatever's left over, we just try our best to get out there as often as we can, because it's also our mental health. Our fishing is outlet for us as well. And that's the other thing we've tried to, I guess, promote is the word, or encourage for others, is just the benefit of just even being out on the ocean and the sound of the waves. And it's such a primitive way to fish that we find it really helps ground us and makes us better parents. It makes us a better couple. And so, we try to inspire others to just be intentional. Like, if you can find the time, try your best. Try your best to do something that you love and get out there.
When you think about, what you've grown in social media, you mentioned you didn't start because of the likes or monetizing everything. But now that has kind of come to fruition, would you be open? Are you moving towards at some point this being your kind of full-time job? Or if not, would you be open if it did happen where you all of a sudden, hey, we didn't intend to make this much money on social media, but we are. So would you be something that you would actually explore, whether intentionally or unintentionally?
Well, I think that would be a dream, and I think it's every fisherman's dream to fish for money and fish for a living. YouTube would have to pay me a hell of a lot of money to be able to do this full time. Living in Canada where we live, it's expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a great job. To be able to give that up would have to be an astronomical amount of money. But if it happened, I mean,
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
We love what we do, you know, with the fishing. So I think it'd be pretty great if that ever came to fruition, but not necessarily counting on it either.
Yeah, like if
I'm
Or-
kind of just open, like whatever the universe has for us.
Yeah,
but-
it's like if
Yeah.
it happens, it happens, but you're not gonna like change your life around towards that
No.
goal, I guess.
no,
No.
we don't care. Like you said, whatever happens, happens. I mean, we've invested as much as I think we're going to invest into this with cameras and drones and everything else. I can't see us putting more into it, and don't need to put more into it than we already have now. The only thing that would be nice is being able to fish every day for money.
That would be nice.
Yeah, it
That would be
definitely
good.
would be nice, right? But it also has its like, man, if you're so dependent. I always say like when you're so dependent of catching fish, for a livelihood and being social media, it's like, are you going to enjoy it as much? Is that stress of like, you can always go when you're fun fishing, you can always go back and says, well, I learned some things, or I enjoyed the weather, or I enjoyed the sights. But it's like, yeah, but I still, when you're fishing for a living, social media, it's like, yeah, but I still need to put money on the table. And if I don't catch anything, then it's gonna, it's gonna flatten out. So that, I think that's the thing, that the big difference is like, are you going, when you're doing it for fun, and if it happens that you get a great reel out of it and it goes viral, great. But when you're depending on it, that's what it's like. Now it's pressure to catch fish, whereas before it was just a leisure day on the water, and hopefully if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, you still have fun on the water. So
Yeah,
what
I think
is?
with us.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think with
No, go
us,
ahead.
our audience that we've built and our community that we've built, it's great because we don't have the pressure to catch fish, really, like we do for sponsorships and stuff like that. But for our audience, I mean, they seem to love when I drop fish. Every single time I
Yeah.
drop a fish and I lose a fish, it's like the amount of views that we get, and people seem to love it because I'll say something stupid, or Crystal will be laughing at me or something like
And
that.
I think
So
we've even posted videos where you've caught fish, but they're too small, you've had to let them go or drop them. And we've come home with nothing, but we still post it because it's real.
yeah,
That's the other part, that it's for you guys. Like, for example, for us bass fishermen, for the most part, like 90 or 99% of whatever number you want to throw out there, but the vast majority of bass fishermen is just for the fun of it. Like, it's a sports fishing. We don't take it home. But for you guys, it's also a way to kind of like, hey, if I'm going to enjoy my hobby, maybe even get something I can go home and alleviate my grocery cost. So it's that's another factor to it. Like, yeah, like I'm bringing home food, and that's gonna lower my grocery bill, because
yeah.
it's expensive to buy halibut and any of those great fish that you get to fish with, a lingcod, rockfish. So with that, I have to ask you, what is your favorite? Well, two-part question. What's your favorite fish to catch just because you enjoy the fight or the technique of catching it? And what's your favorite fish for catch and cook? And I'll start with you, Crystal, in case you have a different answer from Kyle.
Okay. My favorite fish to catch is lingcod all the way. I like vertical jigging for them, and I just love the fight, and I love seeing that big head come out of the water. And then to eat, I would probably say black rockfish. They're a smaller looking, they can actually get pretty big. Some people call them sea bass. And they're like a white fish, similar to lingcod taste, but man, they taste really good. We usually do fish tacos with those guys. Yeah.
What about you, Kyle?
To eat would definitely be lingcod, I think, because it's such a versatile fish. I mean, you got fish tacos, fish and chips, some fish burgers, so many different types of recipes you can do with it. For catching, it's gonna have to be Chinook salmon, I would say, and vertical jigging for them. Definitely not. Trolling can get a bit boring at times, and I miss a lot of fish because I'm kind of dozing off or whatever. But the vertical jig, like when a salmon hits a small, like 1.5 ounce, 2 ounce jig, in 100 feet of water. There is nothing like it on a light rod. The fight is unbelievable. And I just got into it this last summer, and I'm definitely going to be using that a lot more, the vertical jigging. But yeah, salmon on a jig and lake cod.
Nice. And what's on your bucket list of fish? I'll go back to you, Crystal. What's in your bucket list of fish that you want to catch, whether it's in Vancouver Island or any place else, out of your kayak?
Honestly, halibut would be pretty cool. A little scary, like the idea kind of freaks me out a bit. I have yet to try for halibut, but I think I would like to push myself and step out of my comfort zone and go for it one day. Whether I'd catch one or not, I don't know. It's a little trickier in the kayak, but I'd like to catch a halibut for sure.
What about your rooster?
And a rooster fish.
You mentioned a rooster.
If we go on a holiday, yeah.
What about you, Kyle?
Yeah, definitely halibut would be on the list. And if we went to some southern waters, mahi or a kubera, I think I'd love to catch one of those things.
Oh, yeah. What are you mentioned Adam Fisk and Steve Fields. What other social media channels has inspired your fishing experience?
I think definitely Adam Fisk and Robert Field. Those are the
I keep saying Steve Fields, right? It's Robert Fields. I apologize.
Yeah, Robert Field.
I'm sorry. I've been saying Steve Fields for the last 56 minutes, so I apologize. Robert Fields. I don't even know. I know Steve Fields is from something. I can't remember what I think he's an athlete. Anyways, my apologies, Robert.
If he's watching, yeah, sorry, Rob.
I'm an idiot. Yeah. I'm just so embarrassed about that. It's like, oh, Lord. Anyways, I digress. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Kyle.
It's all good. You. I'm sure he won't mind. Die Hard Fishing out of California. Moo Outdoors. They have a pretty solid crew from like Nick Fish from like the Bay Area in San Francisco. A little bit further north, definitely Spilt Milk Productions, Tyler Hicks there. I don't know if I'm missing anyone.
I don't watch as much as you. I don't have time.
I think Bad Ash Outdoors too.
Yeah.
Ashley, she's awesome. Yeah, there's so many great YouTubers in the Pacific Northwest, and it's been awesome. We haven't connected with a lot of them, but some of them, and hopefully get to meet up and do some collabs in the future.
Yeah.
It would be great.
I just realized what Steve Fields is. I was thinking about a steakhouse up in Plano, Texas. That's what got on my mind. Like, why do you keep saying Steve Fields? Anyways.
That was close.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's definitely enjoyable to be able to fish for all those, species that you fish for. What do you think for you, Crystal? What's been your most influential social media content creator that's kind of helped you? Do you have like a female content creator that you look up to and kind of like grab inspiration either for creating content or for fishing?
I don't know. There's not a ton of female kayak anglers, but definitely Die Hard Fishing, and then Christine Fisher, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then actually on our Gibbs team, like they fish from boats, but we have some really strong female influence as well, and they're out there slaying some big halibut and tuna fish, and so I'll watch anything really to get the inspiration going. And, yeah.
Do you feel like, being that this in Vancouver Island, this, like you mentioned, it's not really a popular thing to go out kayak fishing? Do you encounter a lot of kayak anglers out there when you're out kayak fishing?
It's getting more, like, it's definitely growing here.
Yeah.
When we first started, honestly, we didn't see anybody. Now I would say we run into a few kayak anglers out there. It's definitely grown on the island and in Canada, I feel. Yeah, so we definitely, there's a little community too that will meet up on Facebook. Like, hey, I'm heading here if anyone wants to come. So Kyle's definitely gone out and met up with some of the guys that way, which is kind of fun.
We're always a couple years behind you guys, it seems, with the trends in the sports. So kayak fishing definitely has taken off here. Anytime we're on the water, like you do see other kayak anglers now, which is awesome to see. 5 years ago, it was just us. It seemed like at the launches and everything, but yeah, slowly but surely it's growing, and I think with more and more dealers, that'll help. I mean, we have a Bass Pro Shops here. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Hobie. Who knows?
Yeah.
I was actually looking at a pro angler, but I'm going to hold off a little bit just to see what happens. And yeah, I think the more we can grow it and the more awareness gets spread around fishing from a kayak, the more the merrier. Hopefully it grows as much as it has down in the States.
Yeah, thinking about the Bass Pro Shop, Cam is probably watching. He can tell how spicy our group chat got on this week when AJ announced his departure and all that. What's going to happen with the Hobie? It got really spicy. I told the guys we should make a podcast out of it, but we all agree we probably lose sponsors for all the stuff that we throw at each other at that point. But it was fun conversation. But so do you have people come up to you and recognize you, or say they draw inspiration from what you guys are doing on your social media in Vancouver Island specifically?
She gets it more than I do.
Well, so we have Casey Kayak fishing stickers on our vehicles. Kyle's is like this big. Mine is like this big on the back of my big white Suburban. So yeah, I get lots of people. I'll be like pumping gas, and they're like, "Oh, I watch you all the time," and things like that. Even at my kids' school, there's a few parents that are like, "I watch
show
you
and
every
tell
Sunday."
parents.
Yeah. I watch every Sunday when I drink my morning coffee, and you're so awesome. And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And like often I forget that I have the sticker on the car. So when people are like, "Hey, Crystal," and I'm like, "Hi, who are you?" And then they're like, "I watch you all the time." And I'm like, "Oh, right, okay." So yeah, it's pretty cool.
She's the star of the show. Really,
No
one cares about me.
Not even close.
Well, I mean, I don't know. People get so sensitive. Crystal, put me on check if I'm being sexist here, but it's like women are always they're gonna be an outliner in their sport, right? With male dominated, you see a woman fishing, it's always gonna draw more attention. Like, and not to say that, like, what I respect about your brand of content, it's you're showing off your fishing skills. You're not showing off something other than fishing, right? So it's but they're always gonna have that outliner where you got 99% of male fishermen, and then you got one female fisherman. It's going to draw more attention. It's going to get
Right.
more views, and there's nothing wrong with capitalizing on it. Like that's what we all do. We always want to stand out by doing something. If that's something that becomes natural because of your gender, then by all means capitalize it in the way that you feel it's responsible to capitalize it on. And I'm not here to judge. There's some anglers that, whether male or female, that use some other things to capitalize on their individuality, and who am I to judge? But do you feel like, I want to ask a question, but then I thought about another one that you just mentioned about people coming up to you. Does that kind of like draw any concerns for you, having strangers, you pumping up gas, having strangers come up to you, and every now and then there's, especially with social media, there's sad truth about it, there's creepers everywhere. Do you feel like at some point it's like, do I really feel comfortable with strangers approaching me and telling me they watch my social media? Is that something that a concern for you, Crystal?
No, so far everyone's been super respectful. Like they're not coming like right into my space or anything. They're like standing a few feet away and waving, being like, "Hey, I watch your show." And yeah, so I feel quite comfortable. I haven't had any reason to feel uncomfortable. And I think because if I was, say, solo with this journey and I had my own channel, a female angler on my own, but I feel like because all our content is together, people know I'm married. People are pretty respectful. Kyle's a big guy.
Yeah,
so no, it doesn't bother me.
Trifle with, right?
Yeah.
So, and what about you, Kyle? Do you feel like, is that something that's on your back of your mind, that not that you want your watch popularity to grow, but at the same time worry about, drawing attention from people that you rather didn't draw attention to?
Yeah, I mean, I have no concerns whatsoever. I think our community has been great so far. We live in a tiny town on Vancouver Island, so it's usually the same old people that come up to us and say, hey, we love your last video or anything like that. I mean, no, I'm not worried about any
That's good.
creepers or anything like that. It would be a very sad day for them.
Yeah, with social media, it's always kind of like
Oh
a
yeah.
slippery slope on that part. Um, and like we mentioned before, it's kind of like the Wild West, right? We don't have a blueprint on it. The question that I wanted to ask you, Crystal, originally was, do you feel a sense of responsibility to help other female anglers kind of grow in this sport? Is there something that says, I want to help out that female angler or lady woman that's kind of wants to get out of a comfort zone and maybe start fishing or kayak fishing? Do you feel like there's something that responsible to reach out or responsible to represent yourself in a way that's going to inspire other women to do this sport?
Yeah, for sure. And I've always been really transparent on my journey about, it hasn't always been easy. I remember when I didn't know how to use a downrigger and dropping F-bombs, and Kyle's like, you need to take a breath. Like, it's okay. And being the newbie in a new sport, like I had never even saltwater fished. So it was all new, tying knots, the gear, the lures, and what's this and what's that. And then the fishing from a kayak is obviously much different than in a boat. And so I've always felt that it's important to be completely honest about my journey, and just sharing that, yeah, there was times where it was challenging and I was second guessing, can I do this? Should I do this? But I'm also, I want to share the successes too, and the fun and the growth that comes along with learning. And in the beginning, people are like, oh, like, you must be a pro. And I'm like, no, not at all. Actually, this is my first year saltwater fishing, my first year fishing from a kayak, and I have lots to learn. And Kyle's a great teacher, and I fumble a lot. I lose fish a lot. And so just being real, I think, is something I feel responsible about, because I don't want to portray that I'm like some amazing angler and I've got it all together, because the reality is I don't. And I'm still learning. Lots. And the reality is, having 4 kids, that's my main job. And so it has taken me a long time to perfect certain skills. And I mean, not even perfect, because I'm never going to be perfect at anything. But the reality is that motherhood comes first. And it's been a journey of learning and trial and error when it comes to the kayak fishing. And I'm just super grateful for Kyle, because he's been really patient and a wonderful teacher for me as well.
Do you feel that at some point, I see anglers or women in the outdoors kind of transcend what they've done to now they're kind of like, not personal life, but their life in general, their life as um, in this space. I'll try to give an example. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but Christine Fisher, right? Like, she went from, great at bass fishing to now a lot of it is, this is my life in bass fishing. Hannah Barron, she went from, posting videos of her noodling for catfish, where now her social media has evolved into, this is who I am, and this is what I enjoy. This is who I am in this space, and this is what it means to my life. And there's always like life advice, or it just transcends the sport. Do you feel like at some point you would jump into that opportunity, that you can be more of a personality, that instead of like Crystal Fisherman, it's just, this is my life as Crystal, and this is what I enjoy doing, and having like maybe like a more influential voice in the female community that transcends fishing?
Yeah, right. So one thing that I have kind of played around with in my mind, Kyle and I have talked about, is doing a podcast ourselves, but it would be like a female angler podcast, and just, interviewing other female anglers and their lives and how they got into fishing and how it affects their careers or motherhood all the juggling and the hats that we wear. And yeah, I definitely think that it would be something separate from Casey kayak fishing, though, if that makes sense, because I feel like what Kyle and I have is special, and I like the style of content that we have right now. But it's definitely something that I would be open to. Like, I know one of the things that people often say to me and they're intrigued about is, how do you parent 4 younger children and find time for the fishing and learning this new sport and all the things? And it's hard to put into words, that journey, but it would be something that I'd be willing to share if it inspired other female anglers to get out there and take risks. I would totally be willing to share more of like who I am and what my story is, but don't know if we're quite there yet, but maybe one day down the road for sure.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I think one thing that women have in the outdoor space in general is kind of being a champion that's going to inspire other women. Where guys, it's different because, well, like I said, 99% of the social media influencing the outdoor is going to be males, right? And it's just different, right? Like, but it is all, a more broader opportunity for you grow and um, put this in space. But there's also like, yeah, your responsibility to your kids, your husband, and Kyle, the same thing. You with you, like, it's like there's dynamics where you have to figure out how does it fit in the most important things in your life, which is your family, and how do you kind of manage that where it works together, meshes together, and it's going to bring you closer, and with you and your family, with you as a couple, with you as parents, than divide you or split your time. Just a rabbit hole that you can go down to and kind of like explore and think, and everybody's going to be different.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Kyle, what about you? What would you like for either for yourself to grow, and for even Crystal to achieve in this space, that you think that you can keep growing and continue moving forward, inspire other people?
I think if YouTube pays me $1 million a month, I think that would be a way for us to grow. I think for us, we took a step back. The time off has been awesome, and we've really changed directions into quality versus quantity. I mean, we want our videos to be rewatchable. We not just the regular old buy this, buy that. We want people to be able to binge our content and start from the beginning and follow our journey. I think ideally what I'd like to see is us out on the water every single chance we get, and together, not just me out there.
Yeah.
It would be great to see Crystal out there on her own. It'd be great to see her do a podcast, or this is like a vlog or something like that, whatever she wants to do. But for now, I mean, we're just going to keep on rolling. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride more than anything. So before I let you go, I got to ask you, what's been your favorite adventure that you've encountered on the water? What's been your favorite catch, your favorite day on the water? And
yeah, so I went halibut fishing with a buddy of mine, and I ended up having a sea otter in the back of my kayak.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that video went a little bit viral. I think it got like 7 million views or something like that. But yeah, it was just so cool to be able to be that close, and he did not care at all. He was rolling around chewing up all my camera booms and rods and reels and everything, but I didn't care. It was just so awesome.
He was so cute.
Yeah, they're a lot bigger than they look in the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, last time I went fishing in Cado, I ran into like a family of otters. This is the second time that's happened, and I always like, oh, they look so cute, and yeah, they have big fins too. So it's like they wanted to take a bite out of me. It's gonna hurt. So I was like, gotta remember it's wild animals.
Oh yeah, everyone was like, "Did you pet them?" I would have been petting them. Like the teeth on them are like
Yeah.
this big.
Yeah.
And they're vicious. Like I've seen videos of them defending their family from crocodiles, even jaguars, which we don't have here, but in the Amazon, it's like, yeah, no, those things are vicious if they have to be.
They can do some damage, that's for sure.
What about you, Chris? What's been your most memorable day on the water?
That's a tough one because there's so many. I would say, so we were fishing out off the coast of Vancouver Island, and this time the salmon were pretty far offshore, so we were actually out like probably 2-3 miles, pushing the limits a little bit. And but it was a nice calm day. We're both trolling for salmon, and he's kind of facing the opposite way behind me, and I see this like fin come up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that? And it was getting closer, and I initially thought it was an orca whale. It actually ended up being a younger humpback whale, but it was coming right for me. And I had gear in the water, so I'm like, Kyle, what do I do? What do I do? Like, do I pull my gear up? What do I do? He's like, I don't know, maybe just go the other way. So I started reeling the other way. The whale went down, and they can go down for quite a while, so I didn't know where it was. And then I got a fish on. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got a fish on. I'm like fighting this fish, and this whale is going up and down kind of around both of us. And then Kyle actually thought he had a fish on, but really he was hooked to my downrigger. So I'm like trying to pedal away from the whale and get this fish into the boat, and then he's pulling me back. It was just chaos. But at the end of the day, I landed the fish, and we got some pretty cool footage of the humpback surfacing behind our boats on the GoPro, and we made a little video about it. And yeah, it was just really, really cool because it was a pretty close encounter, and it was just like the adrenaline was pumping, and I was super proud that I still landed my fish.
Yeah, that's a lot of distraction. So that goes back to what was going to be my next question. What's been your most dangerous encounter? Because I remember when I went to Alaska, we went on a boat, right? When I wasn't kayak fishing. I thought, man, it'd be nice to go kayak fishing for rockfish and halibut here. And then out of nowhere, I spot a orca, like a huge orca, come up, not next to the boat, but close enough to the boat where I can tell it's massive. And I was gonna say amphibian, massive mammal fishing. And I was like, ooh, imagine encounter that on the water. So have you encountered, well, you mentioned the humpback. What about you, Kyle? Have you guys ever encountered like something like a killer whale? Because I always hear, well, they never attack humans. And my thought is, somebody told me this once when we were scuba diving. It's like, oh, you don't have to worry about dolphins. They're not gonna harm you. It's like, what if he forgets that he shouldn't harm me? Like, have you guys encountered something like that? Or what's been the most frightening experience have you had out there? Because again, you're out in the open ocean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure if they've ever attacked anybody in the wild, but they would still mess you up if they wanted to.
Yeah.
These are multiple 1,000-pound animals. They're not to be messed with. But I had one day, Crystal's dream has always been to see orcas while we're out there. And I was fishing by myself,
Of course.
trolling for salmon, and I hear their blowholes going off, and I turned, and there was probably about 5 or 6 orcas right beside me, probably within 100 feet, and they were just cruising, doing their thing, going the same direction as me. So I called her and I said, guess what I'm doing right now? And
Yeah.
there's orcas beside me. But
I was a little jealous.
Yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking though too, because you don't know what to do. Should I stay in one spot? Should I go left? Should I go right? Like, what are they going to do when they're underwater? So I usually just stop. Yeah. Whatever happens, let them pass.
I would say though, for me, from my perspective, our most like scary experience didn't involve any whales. It was just the weather. We checked the forecast on like 4 different platforms. We checked it 2-3 times before we went out, and the weatherman was severely wrong. And this time we did do a
no way.
We did a far trek offshore. We were about like 4.5, 5 kilometers out, and it was beautiful and it was calm. And we were just getting into the fish, and then out of nowhere, just like a switch, it was like the wind was howling and the water was turning up, and I was like, oh my gosh, we need to get out of here. And then it was also a current change, like a tide change at the same time. So we were pedaling into the wind with the current change, and we were pedaling like as hard as we could and not moving. And I was like, we're going to be stuck here. And we did make it back. It took us about an hour and 20 minutes to get out there. It took us almost 4 to get back. And by the time we got back into shore, just from like exerting myself so much, I literally got to shore and thought I was going to vomit from just like hustling, like pedaling as hard and as fast as I could for that long. And I was a little scared. We had a couple boats that were going in and they're kind of looking at us like, oh my gosh, what are these guys doing? And they're like, are you good? And we're like, I think so. And they're like, okay. And then I'm like, babe, should we have stopped them? Like, I don't know. Are we okay? But we made it.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was my birthday.
Happy birthday, we're gonna die.
Yeah, he kept saying, happy birthday, we're gonna die. I'm like, awesome. Yeah.
Before we go to Michael Bradley's question, it says, do they make downriggers specifically for kayaks? I didn't, Michael, we're gonna go to that. I'm gonna answer your question in a minute. I just wanted to make a point on what we're talking about. Like I mentioned, I lived in Puerto Rico. There's 2 times in my life where I understood the meaning of the definition of primal fear. Like one of them, I remember watching a movie. It was called Primal Fear. I think it was Primal Fear, and it's a low budget independent movie about this couple. It's kind of based loosely on the true story or a compilation of 2 stories of scuba divers that go on a guide with a tour and they miscount and the boat leaves and they're stranded in the open ocean. I experienced that. Well, I was scuba diving out of launching from the shore, but I got caught in a current, and when I came up, because I kind of lose sight of where I was, I came up, I couldn't see anything. Like it was just water. Like I couldn't see land, and that made me realize I don't know how far I'm away from land, and B, I need to figure out what direction I need to go. Now, thankfully, because of the training that I've gotten, I kind of understood, like, okay, if the current's pushing me this way, this is where I need to go. There's a lot of study that goes involved before going into scuba diving in a spot. If the current is moving this way, then you know where you have to go. And that helped me understand I need to move this way. And I need to use the current in my favor. And thankfully, I'm still here. But that's the first time I discovered what primal fear is. And it's that fear that you feel that you have no control of whether you're going to live or not in that moment in time. Like, I have literally no control. Like, I'm guessing. The second time I experienced that was fishing out of Lake Fork. It was my first encounter with like a 10+ foot alligator. And I saw that thing kind of saw me and lifted his head and went underwater, probably to get away from me, but I didn't know. And I wasn't scared. But again, that's a different issue. Like, to me, primal fear and being scared are 2 different things. I'll be scared of a roach flying like nothing else, but I don't have primal fear that I'm going to lose my life over it. But I see a huge reptile, and the sense that even though that I don't feel like he's going to attack me, is that sense of like, if that animal deems that he's going to eat me, there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. Like, I'm here because I'm alive because that thing deems it to be so. Have you ever experienced, you kind of both touched on it, but have you ever experienced something like that, primal fear, where you're like, I have no control over whether I make it or not? Or the perception that I have no control over whether I'm going to make it home or not tonight?
So we're on our usual fishing trip. We go to the west coast of Vancouver Island. Conditions there can be challenging at best. I mean, there's a lot of fog, there's big swells. I had it set in my mind.
Open water. I tried.
That was it.
Michael, thank you for correcting me. Open water. Yes, that's correct.
That movie terrified me.
Yes, yes, it did. For me, I was scuba diving back then. But anyways, I digress. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt that.
It's all good. So I had it set in my mind that I wanted to do a catch and cook video with a ling cod and feed the family on the beach and stuff. I set out fairly early in the morning. The kids were all at the beach and stuff, and I could see the fog in the distance and thought maybe I could just go get one quick ling cod before and then race back into shore and cook it up on the beach. No big deal. By the time that I got out there, the fog had started rolling in, and it was so thick that I could barely see the bow of the kayak. But normally not a big deal in certain locations, but this is a salmon hotspot, and there are boats ripping through there everywhere. So I'm out there fishing for a lingcod, and I can hear the boats going by. I can hear people talking. I can hear them like ripping through there on plane. Everybody has radar except for me. So that I was definitely terrified when I was out there. Couldn't see a thing. Ended up using the GPS to get back to the launch because the fog rolled in so thick. But I got the fish, and we did we did the fish burgers.
You caught dinner.
Yeah, it was
There you go.
stupid, and I'll never do it again. Yeah.
So going back to the question, Michael Bradley, do they make downriggers specifically for kayak? I saw a video. I was browsing through your Instagram today, and I saw one. I think it's a downrigger. It's like, oh, that's looks like the downrigger they use at the boats for halibut, but obviously adapted to kayak fishing. So do they make downriggers specifically for kayaks? Where do you get them, and how do they work?
Yeah, they make them specifically for smaller vessels, whether it be like little John boats or kayaks. We've upgraded ours to the Canon Easy Troll downrigger, and it's a little bit bigger. It's still a manual downrigger, and we do have to modify it a bit by shortening the boom length on it because I think it's got a 36-inch boom, which is too far for us to reach. So we have to shorten it to.
They don't really make one like kayak specific.
Not like a kayak specific one, but there's ways to mount anything on a kayak nowadays. It would be nice if one of these companies came out with an electric downrigger specifically for kayaks. That would be ideal, but I don't think the market's really there.
You know, and it's interesting because what's going to drive not necessarily sales, but what's going to drive people to get out there is especially like in Vancouver, this style of kayak fishing is you guys. Like you have, like I go into bass fishing, there's already thousands of people doing videos of bass fishing out of a kayak, right? I'm not special in that aspect, but you guys have a real niche that you like. It's almost like an open canvas, like an empty canvas where you can draw your own pictures. Like there's not that many people out there that do what you do. And if you find success at this, and if you know, within your organic growth, your channel becomes viral, people like Michael Bradley are going to be asking for these products, and you have a unique experience to be a pioneer and be the reason why there is so much. Like Yak Attack has grown into what it has because there were content creators. It was KBF back in the days, that were Chad Hoover, Gene Jensen, that were doing this and got people like me who had no idea you can do this to now doing this. And that, you know, those are stepping stones where now you have so many content creators out there that has opened the market for companies to startup companies to say, I'm building this 3D product, and all of a sudden it's getting bought by a bigger company. Now it's part of a bigger picture where it's branching out. And you know, when you think about Yak Attack, if somebody in a garage printing 3D accessories that they had to like makeshift on their own because there's no blueprint on how to add a rod holder or motor mount or whatever it is, that the newest thing on the kayak fishing market that people are using, GoPro mounts, landing nets, and it spawned this small garage startup company, you know, building stuff out of the garage on a 3D printer to now a huge, bigger global company that is branching out into motors and other accessories. And that is because of the groundwork that was built by trailblazers in the sport. With you, I mean, do you guys think about that, about what you can, you know, what you can mean to the sport of kayak, saltwater kayak fishing, specifically in your area and globally, where companies are now thinking, there's guys asking about downriggers for kayak. Maybe we should be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd love to consider us trailblazers and being able to put the research and development in for these companies to do. I'm not sure if it would be an existing downrigger company or a new startup thing, but I do think it's going to come eventually. I mean, the days of people being able to afford $100,000 and $200,000 boats are a thing of the past, I think, and it's going to be smaller and smaller vessels, whether it be like a Zodiac style boat or kayak, or there is going to be a market for it. And I've always said, if a company's willing to build it, I'll pay for it. I don't care. I just need that. I need that electric downrigger because we're fishing in a lot of the times over 100 feet of water, so that's a lot of cranking to bring that by hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, I hope we answer your questions. If anybody watching has another question for our guests here, Kyle and Crystal, please put in the comment section before we wrap up. But before we do wrap up, I want to give you a chance to plug in your social media channel. Where can people follow you? Where can people, watch your videos, follow you on social media? And if there's any companies or persons or entities that you want to thank for supporting you, please take that time.
Yeah, so it's all KC Kayak Fishing. Is all of our platforms: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Our website is kckayakfishing.com. You can find us all. Just type in KC Kayak Fishing anywhere and you'll see us. Huge shout out to Gibbs Fishing for all of our tackle. They're an amazing community built company, and it's been an absolute pleasure to work with them. Pacific Yak Angler has supported us since day one. They have some amazing rudder options and aluminum rails and all sorts of different goodies for Old Town and Wilderness Systems kayaks, I believe. I can't think of. I'm going to get yelled at, I'm sure, for not adding anyone else.
Not remembering everybody.
Hey?
Not remembering everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure the list goes on and on. Basically, anybody who's ever shared our content or taken a few seconds or a few minutes out of their busy day, if we can put a smile on people's faces, that's all we can ask for.
Any last word, Crystal? Anybody you want to thank as well?
Yeah, no, I think Kyle summed it up nicely, and just we appreciate all the support that we've had over the last few years, and even our family that has offered to hang with our kiddos so that we can go out and fish as a couple has been huge. And so thank you, Mom. She's on here. Just we're really appreciative of being on this podcast as well, and thank you so much.
Oh, my honor's all mine.
Yeah, it's been great.
Anytime you see a video of the two of us out there together, it's because of either my mom watching the kids or Crystal's mom watching the kids. So shout out to the moms out there for
couldn't do it without the moms
allowing us to fish and film.
100%.
That support group is very important. So shout out. And I think your mom is here, right? Lydia?
Yeah.
Lydia, thank you for coming up to the podcast. I really do appreciate everybody tuning in. Everybody that commented, Oilfield Angler, Real Cam Smith, Wills, Michael Bradley, Florida Fish, so many people. Charlie, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. I just got some of the numbers for the 2025 season for the podcast, and I've seen how the podcast is going. So thank you, everybody that's watching, listening, and supporting my channel. And it's awesome. And I'm really excited for you guys joining the podcast. I kind of want to bring you further down the line, maybe sometime next year, to kind of break down, like, what things work, like practical use of gears and kayaks, and talk about what are the kayaks are great for this type of fishing, what some of the rods that you should be using, what are some of the baits, because I think that's so much information that I don't think we would have been able to cover it and talk about your social media like I wanted to. So I definitely want to bring you guys back to talk more about the actual things to put in practice, also safety practice that you can do if for anybody out there that wants to kind of venture into doing this type of fishing and target the fish that you guys target, which again is not as widespread as other parts of the kayak fishing community. So congratulations on all the success that you guys have. I look forward to keep watching your channel grow and take you wherever it takes you, and whatever it takes you. I truly hope you guys enjoy it and it brings you happiness. It draws you closer, both as a couple and a family, wherever that takes you, more than anything, that you're happy with it and that you can look back and with fond memories of what you've achieved, regardless of what the algorithm said.
Awesome. It's been an absolute pleasure, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So, for those out there watching, listening, remember, if you're going to be on the water, wear your PFDs, whether you're saltwater fishing or freshwater fishing. Remember, you can follow us, Bass Kayak and Beers, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And you can listen to our podcasts on any podcast streaming platform out there. We're pretty much on all the most popular streaming services. So, thank you again for watching, listening. And thank you again to my guests, Crystal and Kyle Borkes, for coming up to the show. Really enjoyed it. And have a great night, everyone. Peace out.
Thank you, guys.